It should be up in like a couple of seconds. There's a certain delay as the connections form and all that stuff, and it should be up now. And anyone who joins now will be able to see us talking about random stuff. Let me post this stuff on 4chan so that they know. They deserve to know. They deserve to know.
They deserve to know. It says offline from what I'm looking at.
Refresh it.
Oh, that might work.
3350.
There it goes.
Yep.
Stream is up. Captcha is 3618. Let's do this. So I see 3 people, so that's just us staring at our own stream.
Where do you see these people? Oh, I see. There's
yeah.
a little number bottom right.
Yeah. Yup. Let me check the audio settings to make sure that it is picking up everything. Okay, that should be fine.
I'm getting some serious echo looking at it.
Yeah, you should mute it at least. You can mute these
How do I
things.
do?
Highlight the video.
Oh,
There's a sound option, Paul.
I see it.
Paul,
I see
I
it.
realize you're actually the old man of this project. But you should still know your way around a YouTube video. Which is what
Don't
applies
maybe
here.
post that Sailor Moon screenshot with the I don't know how to use computers.
What's
know-
a computer? I don't
You
know.
know there's an edit
computer.
of that with me saying I don't know how to make video
Really?
games.
Oh, right, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that.
It's a popular one. Because I don't know how to make video games, and yet here I am. So we've got 2 new people in the stream. We're just going to wait a couple of minutes and talk shit while more people pile on. And just
That's
a couple
excellent.
of quick moments. You're
Are
joining
we going
the
to
Outquests?
actually-
Yeah. Can I introduce stuff to the stream? Paul, please.
Yes, go. Go on then.
you are-
Do it.
You are watching the Outquest stream by RASAM Concept. I am Rakan, the creator and the chief director, producer mans of RASAM Concept. Joining me are
Producer
2...
mans.
Yeah, producer mans. Joining me are James. Say hello.
Hello.
And Paul. Say hello,
Hello.
Paul. Yeah, there we go.
Hello.
Right now we're just kind of sitting down, just, talking shit for a bit and waiting for people to join us. Paul, this is like your first time streaming, right?
It is.
Mm.
So I'm gonna have to be careful what I say, because it's there forever.
Oh, yeah.
It's there forever.
It is there forever.
I'm
He
gonna
just made it. He
not
just
talk about
made a very
shading.
good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'll talk not about shading, not about my face or my hair.
Okay.
Why would anyone want to know about your hair?
These are the only things I talk about
Oh.
in my daily life: shading and my hair. Seriously. Oh, and coffee. I'm drinking coffee right now. It's a pretty good one. It's all right.
Is it pumpkin spice? It better be pumpkin spice.
Ah, it's just Nescafe.
Oh, it's just Nescafe.
It's just Nescafe.
You Philistine.
And yeah. So the weather here is good. It's a bit dark because it's nighttime.
I didn't need to mess with this.
I can see you messing with it.
I am always messing with stuff.
I can't always see you messing with stuff, and it's not something that I would want to see, to be honest.
How can you see who's in the chat? Okay. I want to see
Okay.
who's in the chat.
We've got one person in chat.
I
got
just really
2.
want to show who's like speaking right now, and I'm not sure how to do that, so I'm just kind of dicking around while we wait for people.
Oh yes, God, yes. The Twitch the Twitch chat delay is awful. It is the worst thing. I don't know why Twitch chat is so bad.
What is Twitch chat?
Uh,
Bear in mind I'm 65 years old.
oh, okay. Twitch.tv has like their chat system, and it is the worst thing I've ever seen. It won't update. It'll disconnect you every like 2 minutes, and then you have to reconnect to it. And a large majority of the time, it won't send you information of what other people are saying. It's really, really bad.
I see. So, it sounds pretty rubbish.
Wait, what?
What?
Full 30 seconds? Are you serious?
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Because of Twitch Plays Pokemon.
Oh.
What do you mean I can't
Wait,
move
is that
this?
really?
Oh, okay, I see. So if I move this here, I can select region. Just sorting out some stuff, people. Don't worry.
You should have done all this before. You're making us look very
I
amateur.
was trying to, but so that people who are in this Skype stream right now, don't think I'm a terrible person at doing this. This call has been going on for 1 hour, as most of you can see, and Paul and James have been a nightmare to deal with.
No, we're not.
Lads,
They were
what
You're
like,
have
the
you been doing?
nightmare.
they were talking nonstop. They would not shut up,
You
and I could
told
not
us to
focus.
talk.
No, I didn't. Stop
Yes,
lying.
you did.
Stop lying, though.
Yeah,
You're lying.
yeah, you totally did.
But I host the Twitter. I'm not supposed to be lying. So therefore, I win.
No, you don't.
Too late.
Nope.
Anyways, we've got 10 people. We've got 10 people. I think that's enough to start the stream. And so it begins. First off, Paul, James, I'm going to ask you guys to take a bit of a backseat as I go through something we did. We hosted a sort of contest. I wouldn't call it a contest. We put up the pictures of our robots on 4 different places. And we asked each group to name a robot. And now I'm going to give you guys the results of that naming thing. And I'll tell you, I'll give you a bit of an explanation as to why these names were chosen and what it is specifically that drew me to them. The first robot is this guy. You should be popping up on the stream right now.
Yep, there it goes.
Yeah.
Very nice.
The development.
Very nice.
Very nice. The development name for this robot is called Wonder Wagon. By development name, that means we actually had a bit of a name for it, but it wasn't the final name because all these names came from me, and I don't really trust myself with names. I think I'm terrible with names, and so I wanted to see what people could come up with. So the first robot was the Wonder Wagon, and I really liked the name that someone suggested for this. He came up with a name that I shortened because of text problems within the game. Like, we have a certain amount of text that we can use and we can't use, so there's a limitation going on there. He suggested the name Judgment Boy, which I thought was a cool name.
That's cool.
Yeah, especially considering the way the robot looks. Like, it looks like it's like, I'm gonna punch your face off. And so I felt, yeah, this fits a bit better than Wonder Wagon. But because we had the text limitations, I needed to limit it. Paul, you know anime, right? Or at least you pretend to.
That's the Chinese cartoons, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the Chinese cartoons.
I've seen Naruto and One Piece, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I know those.
Okay, what was the name of the protagonist in Tekken Man Blade?
Tekman
D-Boy.
Blade. D-Boy, yeah.
D-Boy, right. And so this guy suggested Judgment Boy. The decision was to
J-Boy.
name this J-Boy. So we're working with
I
text
like that.
limitations, but we also get to reference Tekken Man Blade at the same time, which I think at least 3 people are going to enjoy.
At least 3 people.
So
Maybe even 4.
maybe even 4. So the name of the robot, as you can see on the screen, is J-Boy.
The way you
Good
fucked
nice,
that up.
good nice pink font there.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I want to point out that it took me like a while to figure out how to do this. And so I did it for each and every one, so get ready, people. It is going to get
Oh
exciting.
boy.
You're
All
blowing
right.
my mind here.
All right, let's move on to the next robot. And this robot's development name,
Worm.
Worm. Yeah, we call it Worm. WYRM, as in the type of a variant of dragons.
Not
And-
WRM, like the stupid online game.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right, guys. And so what we've got here is we got a robot we call the Worm, and I want to see what people could come up with this. So someone suggested a name that I personally liked because of the month we're in. We're in October, and what he suggested has something to do with October. And
This is skeletons.
no, it's not skeletons. How to say this? I kind of want to like explain it without trying to I think I should just get into it. The name of the robot is up on the screen. Samhain, which is a Gaelic.
Right.
Yeah, it's this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
this. It's the Gaelic tradition that evolved into Halloween.
This is going to cause some confusion, isn't it?
It probably
in how
is.
to pronounce it.
But to give a little bit of a plot and lore background about this specific robot, there are variants of it that exist within the setting that are so different from one another that you find it very hard to call them as being part of the same family. That's the way it's going down right now. So with a term like Samhain, we get to have like a base point for how the rest of these robots are going to be like. So you guys did inspire something pretty big. Good job on you. Next robot.
Yeah, I like this comment about pumpkin transformations. He at least needs some kind of pumpkin weapon, I feel.
All right. Next robot.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, this guy. So, this robot probably has the saddest of the development names because we didn't actually give it a name. We just called it RE Type. Just RE Type. There was nothing else. I looked through all the documents that we had. I was like, did we really not give this thing a name? It was just RE Type, and that was it. And it's a problem because this thing does have a background. It has it's a pretty big part of the setting because the RE stands for Republic Experimental. It's part of an experimental series of robots. And so we posted it up, and of the names that came up, there was one that I felt was really, really strong. So I chose that name, and the name is up on the screen. Bull nose.
I actually like that. That was a pretty good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just liked the name. It sounded right. It sounded cool, and it felt appropriate for, I don't know, the robot itself. It feels like a very, very. It's the type of name I would expect out of an '80s robot anime. I was like, okay, let's go for it. Moving
Incidentally,
on.
I'm liking the low poly Dreamcast quality of the robots as well.
Yeah.
Somebody in the
Rough.
thread even it just suggested you should name it Dreamcast, but these things look like they're from a Dreamcast.
Indeed, yeah.
Next up is what am I doing here? Oh god, I am screwing everything up, aren't I?
Honestly,
Oh god,
it's like you've never seen a computer before. What are you doing, man?
I have not seen a computer. This is the first time I've seen a computer. What am I doing here?
They're scary.
I do think they're scary, but I don't tell people that usually. Oh,
No.
okay, there we go.
Just
That should be fine, I think. Anyways,
well, I recognize that rifle.
of course you do. Anyways, back to this robot. This robot
That was
is
literally the first weapon I made.
yeah.
I think it looks the best out of all of them too. That's the worst part.
Aw, damn. No, that's not true. You did some really cool weapons. And but yeah, let's
I
get
like
back to
the railgun, but I put more effort into it than I did anything else.
All right, let's get back to this robot specifically. This robot's development name was Athena. And I did not like that because it was a very, very. I felt a bit generic, you know. I didn't like that, so I said, "Hey, let's see what people can say about this." So this was the first robot that was posted. It was posted on Twitter, and because there was someone on Twitter who was familiar with me from a previous thing I was involved with, decided to name it after something from that. So this robot's name is on the screen. Agnevis.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay, yeah, I can live with that.
See, this is basically me jerking myself off right now. I'm just being amazed at how beautiful and amazing I am. I am a genius.
Hey,
And
keep
this
it
is a very
simple.
this
Good
name
job.
this choice the choice for this name is probably the most vain of them all because it references me. There you go.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fine.
I never answer your calls because you never call me. Anyways, next robot is this guy. So this guy is probably the one that I feel the worst for. I feel really bad about this robot because I posted this one on 5 different communities. I said whoever gets the best name this robot is going to be representing them. This is a war, guys. This is a battle. You got to post the best name.
And did no one post anything at
No
all?
one posted anything. Again?
You're so popular, old man.
No, it's
You're
not that they
so
didn't post
popular.
anything. It's that they didn't post anything I felt was better than the original name.
Oh, right, okay. Was
Because-
the original name Big Fire?
No.
He looks like a big fire, mate. That's
there
a
are
compliment.
there are copyright issues there. That's why we
Yeah, I know.
chose this name, which is the original development name, and it's on the screen.
Ah. Well, I like that name because
Wait a
it's
minute, I
got
thought
the
it was
80s in it.
82.
It's 80.
Okay,
It
fine.
was 80.
Oh.
And yeah, you guys did not come up with a better name than Steel 80. Isn't that kind of embarrassing for you? Anyways, so that's these are the robots. You just gonna go through them one more time, pop them up on top of each other, and I hope
Because you can.
because I fucking can. And I hope you guys liked looking at that stuff, all 13 of you, or rather, all 10 of you, because there's 3 of us watching.
Oh,
Hey.
yeah.
Yeah.
About that.
all 10 of you.
So what about the red robot from the trailer then?
Is not rigged, therefore not in the demo.
Okay, but he's going to be in the game though, yeah?
Yeah. We'll be kind of a waste
Okay,
to,
that's
to,
fine.
to, we'll be kind of waste to make him like the star of that thing, and then, okay, he's not in the game, you guys, but like he's in the teaser.
But if you pay us like $20,000, then you can have him as DLC.
Yeah, you're being cheap.
Yeah, I know.
A bit higher, Paul. Give me a price, a bit higher.
$20,000 and a cup of tea.
Somebody in a Skype group that I posted the stream to said J voice sounds scarily close to gay boy.
J boy.
J voice sounds scarily close to gay boy.
Oh well. I didn't even fucking think of that, but okay, people. Okay, people.
I don't
That's the
care.
first
It's
thing
fine.
that
They
comes
can
to
do
your
whatever they
mind,
want.
yeah?
If they want to make the jokes about it, just means people are more interested in the game.
Exactly. So now that we've actually gotten to this point, we've talked about the robots, we've talked about the names. So it is now time for questions towards the people in the call with me. I've got a bit of questions that a bit of topics that I want to discuss with you guys. And James, since you and I were in the stream last time, let's give Paul a chance to talk this time.
Okay.
Paul, you with me? Yes,
you sure
I do.
you want to do this?
Yes. I have made bigger
Okay.
mistakes. I have made bigger mistakes in the past. So, Paul,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Paul Johnson?
Who is Paul Johnson?
Just who is?
I
Paul
think Paul Johnson is your obnoxious reminder that the wild ride of the 80s never ended.
Johnson? That's a good response. That's a very good response.
Yeah, I just basically sit around in my pants
Mhm.
in my room, animating stuff and kind of getting paid enough to live to do it. So I've got a pretty comfy life, really, and I'm really exciting, as you can probably tell
I can
from
tell.
that story.
I can tell.
Yeah,
I would not have hired you if you were at least that exciting.
at least that
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Mm.
So one of the things that people talk about a lot with OutQuest, right, is the teaser,
Mhm.
the animated clip you did, the 2 minute thing, featuring an old
Right.
man
Yes.
in a short sleeve shirt in a really cold environment, getting into a robot, turning it on, and walking away. And that impressed
Yeah.
people, Paul. That got
Well,
people. That got people going. Whoa.
I'm glad that they were impressed, and
Did you expect
they've
that? Like,
obviously
did
got
you?
very very low standards. And let's edit that out.
It's too late. It's been said. British animator thinks
But,
people have low standards. Kotaku.
Yeah, Kotaku
Yeah.
immediately.
There's a reason why it still exists.
We're
We'll
at
get to hear me talk about shading after all.
yeah. You will be talking about shading. So the teaser was like I'd say it was a big success for us. It's definitely gotten us to connect with an audience. You know, it was a very firm statement that this is what we are and this is what we plan to do. How did you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about the results of the teaser itself?
I was very happy with it.
Mm.
I mean, I think the timing was good because as soon as it was finished, you were going to a con, weren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Which was it? You went immediately to
The Dubai
some
the Middle Eastern Film Comic-Con in Dubai.
yeah. So it's like it was finished, and then
Hmm.
it instantly had an audience of people at this convention. So yeah, the timing was very very good on it, I think.
That's cool.
And
Mhm.
so I don't, yeah, I think it mainly got views because of the timing, not because it's like this incredible piece of animation or anything. But
Well, do you think so? Because I've seen people, because I sat down with I told you the story, but I can share it here on the stream itself. I sat down with a bunch of other local animators at the same convention, the Middle Eastern Film Comic-Con, and they were all pretty impressed because you were able to get a frame rate that was impossible to them. Some of them were working with frame rates of like 13 or 14 frames per second, but you had something that was closer to movie quality, 23, 24 frames per second.
yeah, kind of. I mean,
But there's a trick to that,
I'm
isn't
kind
there?
of. There is a trick to that. I mean, it's not like 24 frames per second. It's probably more like 16, 17. It's so it's higher. It's a higher frame rate than your average TV anime episode, but it's only 2 minutes long,
Yeah.
and it took me months to do. So that's the thing that I'm really glad that people like it, but it was just me working on it in my spare time with no other commitments or anything. I could just spend as long as I wanted on it, and so yeah, there were none of the time pressures of wow, this is live stream, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is just me talking and just going completely blank mid-sentence. This is fantastic.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
I want more experiences like these.
Well,
But yeah, basically, I could put as much time as I wanted into it, and I'd show you, and you'd be like, "Yeah, that's good." And you never said change this,
No, because
or
you were,
change this, or totally redraw this.
because
And so,
I told you what I wanted. I wanted something that was dark, something that was snowy. I basically explained the setting and then the visuals that I was going for, and it kind of clicked from there. You were basically doing what I wanted you to do without me saying anything. So whenever you'd
Right.
show me stuff, I was like, this is good, this is impressive. You could add a little bit of this, you could add a little bit of that, and then the final result happened.
Yeah, I think it worked out pretty well in the end. I mean, I look at it because I'm not a huge fan of my own work, and I'm always seeing stuff which kind of makes me cringe. And once something's on YouTube, it's there forever. And
Yeah.
that Doctor Who thing's still up there.
Oh
and
yeah.
it looks pretty bad. It looks pretty bad. But apart from the very final shot of the robot walking off into the snow, I think it looks pretty decent. The
Mm,
trailer. So yeah, I'm glad people liked it.
yeah. And you got a lot of praise for something else too. Beyond the teaser being well animated, some people believed.
Was it
Uh,
my flawless hairstyle and
no,
gentlemanly accent?
no, actually, it was. Uh, I'm not sure what the proper term for this is, but a lot of people praised your style. The color choice was praised. The character design was praised. The shading was praised. A lot of people really loved that style. They were like, there were people who were passing by at the conventions, the two conventions I went to so far. Everyone would pass by and they thought I was like a promoter, like a licensed distributor for an animation company. They were
Right.
wondering if I was like in the Dubai convention. Gynax was present, so some people would come by and said, "Oh, are you the Gynax booth?" I was like, "No, no, not me. No."
Yeah, I don't know about
I was just
being
sitting there going,
convinced the
"No."
guy next.
I was just sitting there going, "No, me make game."
Didn't the Gynax people actually come over and talk to you?
Yeah, they
Did they
did.
see? Didn't they see the animation? Because I was
Yes,
curious about what they did. What they think?
I remember telling you explicitly what they thought.
Like, it's been a while. I'm sorry.
All right,
Tell everybody for the class. Come
you're,
on.
you're giving me excuses to talk to the stream. Okay,
Yes.
I should be nice. But yeah, what happened was at the convention itself, we were just presenting the animation teaser, and it was me and the second animator for the video, Abdullah. Abdullah could not be here today because he's working late. But it was just me and
He
him.
saved my ass
He
on that
did. He did.
cockpit sequence. He did some beautiful in between shading on that.
Beautiful stuff. But what happened was me and Abe were sitting there, and suddenly this Japanese lady shows up dressed like Mikasa from Attack on Titan, and she was like, "Oh, excuse me, did you do this?" I was like, "Yes, we were responsible for this." And she started asking us about a bunch of questions, and then she gave me her card, and her card said Gynax, and I said, "Wait a minute, wait a minute." I was like, are you involved with Gynax?" She's like, "Yeah, Mr. Hiroyuki Yamaga, who was involved, who's the I think he's the CEO now of Gynax, the chief executive producer man of Gynax. He apparently dropped by when I wasn't at the booth and Abe wasn't paying attention, and he saw the video, liked it really well. He's like, after an hour, we should drop by again, see if we can talk to the guy. And apparently, they asked our neighbors about this. The ones who were like the tables next to us, like, "Did you see the guy who was here?" Like, "Yeah, he just went out to have a smoke." And fucking nobody mentions this to us. It's like, "Oh, some big
Of
anime
course
guy
they
wanted
did.
to."
They're bad. They're bad that we're
Of
getting
course they
attention.
They're like, "Oh, some big anime guy, some Japanese guy wanted to talk to you." Who? Oh, I don't know. Hiroyuki something.
Yeah, Keanu just wandered past.
Yeah. So this
Looks
this
a
lady,
bit-
she comes up and
doesn't
she
like
says, so she comes up and she's like, "Okay, I'm just here, to talk to you, ask you a bunch of questions about your stuff and what you do, because I was excited by it. But there's another person who's excited by it. Would you like to speak with him?" And I was like, "Who?" "Hiroyuki Yamaga from Gynax." Oh.
How did it go?
It went pretty well because we actually got to discuss a lot of things. And it wasn't just about my production, about Outquest, but it was about how he felt about animation outside of Japan. We talked about future projects for Gynax and future projects by other animation studios that he was excited about. He was pretty excited for the upcoming productions from. At the time, they were upcoming; they hadn't come out yet. One of them hasn't come out yet, at least. He was excited for Sunrise's Gundam Reconquista, which is currently airing, and the second project was Gundam: The Origin, which is airing soon, maybe this year or next year. I wasn't paying attention to that, and yeah, that was the big thing. And we also talked about the Gynax's upcoming projects, which were they're cooperating with an Emirates-based publisher to produce an animation based on a Arabic manga. I hate that title. I hate that they call it Arabic manga, but hey, whatever.
Arabic manga.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Don't worry about it.
I don't worry about it, but it doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, they were going to produce that, and then they were talking about possibly getting funding for the Wings of Hanamase sequel, Blue Uru.
Really?
Yeah, actually. And beyond that, it was just like he did kind of sound disappointed about animation outside of Japan, especially by what he had seen in the Middle East, because he says a lot of it apes, Japanese stuff. And we
Which
got
obviously I don't do at all.
No, you don't. No.
No, nowhere near. It doesn't look anything like it.
No, not at all.
No.
Look, you're just lucky that the 10 people in this stream right now have not seen the latest animation you sent me.
Which? Oh, right, yeah, that. Don't you mean the 13 people? You gotta.
3 of them are us. We're watching the stream at the same time.
There were 14 people, but one left as soon as I said the word shading. I noticed.
Oh. Well,
Excellent.
it happens.
It's all according to Keikaku, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he was kind of disappointed in the whole how animators outside of Japan were basically imitating the Japanese stuff. He was especially disappointed with a certain production that I don't want to name. The guys in the call know which production I'm talking about. I just don't want to talk about it on this stream. But he didn't like what they were doing because it was very, very Japanese and it was outsourced. And I said, well, you can't blame them for it. Because back in the early days of Japanese animation, it was all what? They were copying Disney. They were copying Betty Boop and stuff like that. And he said, yeah, that's fair. But, things have changed since then. Back then, people were still learning. Today, the tools have changed. The tools have upgraded. And I think we both kind of agreed that we hope that the progress on animation in the Middle East and other places would go a bit faster and better than what happened in Japan during the 60s, 70s, and 80s. But yeah, that was me. How about you guys? Paul, there was also another question about the stuff that you did for the animated teaser.
Fire away.
The one that stands out so far is what techniques, what did Paul do to obtain that level of animation? What did he use? What tricks does he have up his sleeve? Are you willing to share?
The biggest trick was time, definitely. Time. I would animate. So I mean, the first thing I did for it, I pretty much animated it in sequence. So the first shot was the guy coming out of the building, opening the door and stepping out. And originally it was about 1/4 of the frames that it finally ended up as, and it looked alright. It looked smooth enough, but it looked a bit weird. And so I just I doubled the frame rate. I just put 1 frame in between every single frame, doubled it up, and it moved a lot smoother, but it still looked really weird. And so I went back to it and doubled it again, and that's the kind of thing that you can't really do in if you're a professional.
Yeah.
Like you do the scene and then that scene goes off and it's done. It's off to final deliveries and it's delivered and you're not going to touch it again.
Yeah, you don't typically have the time to do that in regular production.
No. But I was able to just go back to scenes and just add in more and more frames as I wished, which is pretty nice. But if we become a huge studio, then I probably won't be able to do that.
But if we, on the other hand, if we do become a huge studio, we probably are going to have access to more animators than just you and Abdullah.
That's true, yeah. It's scary how much faster it goes.
So you could always dump it on them.
Yeah, indeed. I felt a bit bad dumping stuff on Abe, but he'd just send it back, and it was perfect.
Done. He's an animating machine.
He's very good.
I do want to talk about Abe, because the way I met Abe was kind of stupid.
Did you think he was Abraham Lincoln?
No. What happened was I was posting on 4chan that I was going to go to a convention The first convention I went to is the Bahrain IGN convention, which is the same convention we're going to be showing off our demo in. And
Right.
what happened was I was just going there just to check the scene out, see what people are like in the Middle East. I have been to conventions in the States when I was studying there, but this was the first time that I had gone to a convention in the Middle East, so I had no idea what the scene was like. It kind of surprised me because it was exactly like the United States. The moment I walked in, there were tons of people cosplaying as like the latest cool anime, which at the time was Sword Arts Online. And then you had the small group of people cosplaying as different video game characters, mostly from Street Fighter. Then you had the guys who were cosplaying the really popular classics, like stuff like Dragon Ball. There were lots of Dragon Ball cosplayers. There was a lot of live action show cosplayers. There's one guy who did Eisenborg, and there was another guy who did Tiger Mask, but not Tiger Mask the anime. He did Tiger Mask the wrestler, which was kind of cool. But what I did was I said on 4chan, it's like, hey 4chan, I'm going to be wearing this shirt at this convention. If any of you guys are actually attending this convention, find the shirt, find me, say hello. Let's hang out. And apparently Abe was like the only guy on 4chan from Bahrain. So he shows up and he's just like, hey. Like he just shows up from behind me, pokes me in the back and goes, what's up, dude? I know who you are. I was like, 4chan, right.
Well, no one knew what your face looked like at the time, though, did they?
I hadn't posted my pictures yet. And Abe told me that, you know, it's like, hey, so, like, what are you doing here? I was like, oh, well, I'm working on a video game, and I'm scoping stuff out, starting to see what the convention scene is like and what to expect from it. He's like, oh, that's cool. I'm an animator and a 2D artist. Would you like to check my stuff out? Maybe see if you can hire me? I was like, sure, go ahead, send me your stuff. I said this with the intentions that I would ignore him. Because I had seen a lot of people who would say stuff like, oh, check my stuff out. And it was usually unappealing. Not the kind of stuff I wanted to have. Then I see Abe's stuff, and Abe's stuff is not only good, but he's capable of blending into any style. He's capable of accepting and going into any different animation style. Which resulted with, like the end result was that you could give Abe a Leiji Matsumoto drawing and he could do it. Or you could give him something like the Gumbuster sequence, the combination sequence of Gumbuster, and he could do it. It didn't matter to him, he just needed time to do it. And that's kind of...
Indeed, yeah.
And then he became one of the more important members of this group.
No, I was, I didn't really know what to expect when I thought, he was like, send me some stuff, I'll in between it for you. And so I didn't really know what to expect, so I was like, I'll just start you out on this easy sequence. Here's a robot turning. And so I shaded the first frame, and I shaded the last frame, and the middle 30 frames were just...
Him shading it all.
Yeah, he had to shade them, like, meticulously get it from that first frame to the last frame without it looking weird. And yeah, he just sent it back, like, 2 hours later.
Yeah. Yeah,
probably 5 hours.
From what I remember, he actually got it right on the first time. He didn't have to go, oh, could you change this?
I didn't do anything to it. I didn't have to do anything to it at all. And I was like, yep, I want to use this guy more.
I would just like to say, I really hope we can get Gabe more involved with this project because, man, that guy's good.
Oh yeah, that guy's good.
He's not paying us to say any of this either.
Not Gabe, not Gabe Newell, Paul. Gabe Miller, who is the 3D artist for Outquest. Right. He's one of the artists who showed up for Outquest, and some of the robots that were on the screen. I'm gonna put up the ones that he did. J-Boy, not J-Boy, no. Samhain.
That was Catherine.
Yeah, Samhain was done by Gabe Miller, who's a very talented artist who signed up to work for us. And the other robot that he did was this one, the Steel 80, which is James's favorite robot.
I love it. It's perfect. It turned out absolutely perfect. Like I like when I first saw his work for the first one you showed, I was I was already thinking we need this guy like to be on the team permanently if we can manage it. But like after this, I'm like, there's literally no question. This has to happen.
Yeah. Then since we're on this topic, I think we can switch to James since I ran out of stuff for Paul. Sorry, Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't even mentioned the words five and tones in the same sentence together yet.
Well, you
You've
just
done
did.
it now. Congratulations.
Okay.
Congratulations,
You can move on
Shinji.
now.
Congratulations, Shinji.
Anyways, James.
Hi.
You and I have been on stream twice before. And
Yeah, I was working
I-
then though, so I wasn't really like paying
Yeah.
close attention.
you know what actually someone said about that?
What?
They said we had great chemistry.
I'm glad to hear that.
Which is kind of funny when you consider that for a while there we actually hated each other a lot, didn't we?
Oh God, let's not bring that up.
Yeah, but it was funny to me because I got an email.
For that first year we were working on it, was like those first 6 months. I was kind of like depressed and everything, and acting
Yeah.
like a huge jerk.
But yeah, but you were.
But-
But I think we both kind of hated each other a lot, and eventually now we're like seen as being best buddies, which is funny to me. It's just things change,
Well, let's. To be honest, any work we did on Super Robot Wars Eternity is like immediately ended up being something that got thrown in the trash.
Yeah. It was a tough experience, but enough of that about that. Let's talk about the work you've done on Outquest. You've done weapon designs.
Weapons.
And
Yes.
you've done terrain work.
Yeah. Like you just kind of you just have to hand me like a thing, or I'll just figure something out on my own.
Yeah.
And our one artist who does most of our concept art would just would have all of these flat things that look fairly basic, and I'm just like, okay, I can do this because
Yeah.
I've gotten so used to having to figure out weird abstracted concepts that I can just immediately understand and go, okay, this is exactly what I need.
Yeah.
And just come up with something and fill in the blanks wherever I need to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too hard. It's a bit weird, but hey.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what defines you a lot against a lot of the other 3D artists we've worked with so far in Outquest. You don't really need to be explicitly told what to do. You just need the general idea, and you can work with that concept.
Yep.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
How did this begin? Like, how did you get into 3D stuff? How did you just think, I want to do 3D art?
That's a very difficult. I think I started back when I first found out that you could actually make mods for video games back when I was like playing Quake 2 and Unreal Tournament 2004. I was like, this is a thing you can do, and so and I just started trying to figure out how to make things and all this other stuff, and literally none of those projects ever got finished.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, one did. I was making the guns from what was it, Gungrave, because I really liked that series at the time, and I got the things done and animated and everything, and then I handed it off to the person that was supposed to handle getting it in the game. They never did it. They just literally never did it. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's going down the drain. But
So that's 90% of online projects.
yes,
Yeah,
it is.
the
It is
people
very literally that, and even just a small project can go that way because but it was very prevalent back then because everybody was like they wanted to make the next Counter-Strike or
Yeah.
whatever. So many things that you can't find them on the internet anymore because they just kind of the websites died. Nobody cared to archive these things. But I remember seeing a video that someone made of this mod, and it was just this guy in SWAT gear holding a riot shield, and he would walk up, and these guys would shoot at him, and he'd hold up the riot shield, and he would block the shots, and then this happened like 4 or 5 times, with like really edgy music playing in the background, and then it would at the very end it flashed up, we need coders, animators, artists, all this other stuff. It's like, wow, you guys really didn't do that much work at all, did you? Probably just made the riot shield and said, we need some help.
All right.
I'm sure.
All right. So that's kind of an interesting background for you, but I think that a lot of 3D artists kind of start off doing modding and then eventually, fail
Oh
project,
yes.
fail the project. You
Anybody,
kind of learn from it. You progress from
anybody who
that.
started in the 90s to
Mm.
early 2000s is going to have gotten their start in modding, and a lot of them actually got hired because of that too. That's a very big thing to know. These days, not so much because modding is a lot harder. It's not always a guaranteed thing, and then a lot of the time people don't even get noticed for it
Hmm.
nowadays because there's a giant flood of graphic designers, 3D artists, and whatnot because the tools are getting easier.
I see. Hold on, I need to set this up real quick. I messed it up again. Ugh. Okay, there we go. Anyways, um, looking at the questions that I've got, people have had a lot of questions about the setting for OutQuest, specifically in the terrain and the look of, rather the look of the game. Let's focus on that. We have a very, we mentioned it earlier. It looks like a really polished Dreamcast game, and
Hmm.
Good thing.
and I think it was you. You were the one who basically defined that. Because early on we were talking about how we wanted OutQuest to look. Like, this is back in 2013. And you suggested the idea that we should go for a look very similar to low polygon PlayStation 1 Dreamcast games. What kind of was the inspiration for that? What made you say, yeah, this is what I want to work with?
It's mostly because it's an easier style to work with, and it's not particularly difficult to do. And I mean,
Hmm.
for me, like I was learning how to paint at the time. I
Hmm.
loved painting. I still love painting. Um, and I kind of want to do illustration more than I do 3D, but yet here I
Yeah.
am. Don't worry about that though. Uh, so I just kind of went with what I was already learning at the time,
Hmm.
with color theory and all that other stuff. And so I just started. Actually, no, I think well, I'm just gonna keep talking, but I can find it while I talk.
Yeah.
But it was just something that kind of came naturally, and I was trying to figure out all the different things. Plus, the time, Operation Extend for the Super Robot Wars 3D game for like the Vita or what was it?
The PSP.
Uh, oh, PSP.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, like I was looking at that and I was like, wow, this is really good. We could probably do this. This wouldn't
Mhm.
even be that hard. And so kind of what I was going for with that. And I just linked you a image here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can put it up in the stream easily or not, but this is mostly what I've done, and it also shows the first thing that was actually made for the project too, which was the
Hmm.
what was this particular thing even called? I know it's like an RMP
The
modification.
RMP 909.
Oh, okay,
I'm
all right,
actually adding the image right now so I can put it up on the stream. Give me a moment.
alrighty.
Where did it go though?
Oh,
Would you like me to sing a musical interlude whilst you do this?
No.
Okay.
I fully state no. Yeah, the image is up
fine.
on the screen. Let me put it in the center. This is a robot that we designed with 2 back weapons and a missile launcher.
Yes. This just was kind of all the things that I was kind of like playing around with, and I just kind of put it all together and did a proper render of it. I really should get around to rigging and pulsing the sky at some point or another.
Mm. I think
But
after the release of the demo, we'll have time to worry about adding more robots and just kind of fixing up what we have right now and making it more appealing and things like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Also, I
Uh,
feel kind of bad if this stupid thing wasn't there anyway at the initial release, because it's okay, but I think Gabe's stuff is a bit better.
so, how do you feel about the robots we've got in the game so far?
I like them. I like them a lot. I
Yeah.
like the designs and everything.
Is there any specific one you liked? I know you said you liked the Steel 80, but of the ones that we have in the game, but not necessarily the ones we've shown in the stream. There is one I don't want you to say the name of. You can say it, just don't say the name of it. Shh, spoilers.
What, you mean the UG?
Yes, okay. You remember the
Yeah.
name we gave it, okay.
I really like how that one in particular looks.
Yeah.
I wish we could just go ahead and show it, but you know that would
Yeah.
that would spoil it.
Yeah.
And a
but-
lot of people watching would probably already know what it is.
Yes. I am going to put up promo art featuring the robot we're talking about so people can see what it is we're talking about. I'm going to center this one as well. This is the robot we're talking about. If you know what
I'm
it's
surprised
from.
you chose that one and not the other promo image.
I was too lazy to find the other promo image. My folders are a mess. I'm sorry.
Who drew these, by the way?
A person named Zawa. I'm gonna drop a link to their Pixev account in the chat later, and also drop it in the comments for the YouTube release of this video. Just so everyone knows, I'm going to be putting this up on YouTube later. So, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic news.
That is fantastic. We were just talking about how once you put it up on YouTube, that's it. It's out there forever.
That's it. It's there forever. But yeah, this looks very, very Guyver to me.
Yeah. It's also very something else, but we can't talk about that anymore.
Indeed. Yeah. You haven't shown the concept sketches, have you? For the robots, I don't think you've shown them anywhere.
No.
The ones that I reworked a bit.
No, because a lot of those sketches they're basically for the development team. They're for the people who are actually producing the game. I never really intended for them to become promotional material, because this is kind of mean towards the audience. But I think if we showed them some of the production stuff now, it'll be very unappealing. It'll be better to release it at a time when the designs are more familiar and there are things that people actually want to see. How did this start off? What did this look like on paper?
Because on paper it looks very Masami Obari, I think.
Yes.
And they've ended up a little bit more squashed and super deformed in the game.
No, I think the robot from the game still keeps a lot of the elements of the concept sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much all the topics we covered so far. That I wanted to cover in the stream. Do you guys have any questions? The audience, do you have any questions for James or Paul?
Or just about the game in general, like,
Yeah.
how do you know you're going to release it? How do you know that Rakan here isn't just going to rip you off and take your money and not release anything?
Because I'm already
We haven't even asked anybody for money yet. What are you talking
Indeed,
about?
yeah. Indeed.
Yeah.
We're gonna rip you all off without actually taking your money. Okay, that's what's gonna happen.
that is some
the
Lupin.
next
That
wave.
is some Lupin the Third shit right there.
Exactly. It's like a whole new tier of crowdfunding.
All right. So the first question is, how much shading will be in the final game?
On the cutscenes, 5 tones.
Mm.
I don't
Anywhere
know about-
else?
in the 3D bits.
That is a good question.
We got like millions of colors in the 3D bits. Okay,
Mhm.
you don't have to worry about that.
Fine.
We actually did find a nice renderer. Is that the right term, James, for what we found?
Shader for the robots.
Shader.
Shader.
Yeah, we found a shader that makes them actually look pretty nice within the game's environment.
I still
really-
think that the terrain itself really needs touch over, but that's me. Don't listen to me.
Yeah. I think you shouldn't worry about that too much because we are going to have time after the release. Because I did promise people that this release, it's not the final thing. We're gonna have more time soon after the convention's over, to sit down, redo things, update things, and possibly we might be able to get the chance to do that terrain you mentioned, wanting to have. Remember back when we first started this, you said you wanted to work on something?
I really, really want to actually start working on the environments. That's like my main thing. Like, uh, the weapons. I don't know. I mean, it's okay. It's you know, something that needed to be done. But I really, really want to start working on the environments.
Mm. So yeah,
Like I've
we're.
done environment work. I would love to.
So we've got like about I'm gonna say we've got 5 minutes. It is now 55 minutes into this stream. So for 5 minutes, we'll be answering any questions you guys have.
But no one's asking any questions.
No one's asking any questions. That's the worst part.
What do we do now? We're gonna look
Well,
like
I-
total chumps.
Oh, I can say one thing though. I can say I do want to say something though.
Say
James.
something.
James.
Huh?
James.
Sorry.
Please, James. I kind of wanted to do this stream right now, like before the release, just because I felt like we've kind of been keeping the human element out of the stream, haven't we? Like out of the releases, the stuff we've been showing off. A lot of people didn't really get to talk to us or get to hear us talk about, the game we're working on and things like that. I really wanted to show off the human element behind this because people tend to forget that there are people working on these games. More importantly, I kind of want to do this stream for the two of you who showed up because I hopefully what I'm hoping for. We do this stream now. We've got nine viewers right now, and with any luck, after the release, we can do another stream and we'll have 3 more people. We'll have 12 viewers. And that's because probably those 3 other people are going to be guys who work for us, but I hope.
You're thinking big. I like it.
Alright, so it seems like there's no questions. So let's go ahead and wrap up here. Thank you everybody for joining us on the stream. Paul, James, I'm really happy that you guys took time out of your busy schedules to work with us. Now, get back to those assignments before I beat you up.
I haven't really got anything left to do, but I do have to go to work.
Oh, okay. Alright then.
There's no way I'm getting the dirt texture done in time for this, so I'm just kind of like, I need a break.
You're cutting loose. It's fine. Alright then. So, from us here at RASAM Concepts, from Paul, from Zach, from me, thank you guys for joining us on the stream. I hope you enjoyed it. If you missed out on the stream and you showed up late, we will be putting this up on YouTube so that people can see which robots, what the names were for the robots, and get to hear Paul and James talk about things. Thank you very much. Good night.